So just waiting for some people to come on. So hey, okay, so let's get started. I want to talk about self-esteem versus self-confidence. Feel free to comment in the comments so that you can ask questions, state your opinion, and all that kind of stuff. Now, as you know, I'm an author, a coach, and an opinionist. I have very high opinions about certain things. And I just want to share with you guys and for you to share with me as well, because I love having conversations and I'm in a chatty space today. So I thought, why not go live? I'm going to be going live more regularly as well. So I thought, why not go live on YouTube and have a conversation, because I haven't connected with you guys for some time actually. Now, my confidence is on 10 really, in terms of me believing in my ability to do what I'm going to say and achieve what I want to achieve. However, sometimes I get low on energy, which made me kind of explore, and it's something that I talk about in my book Soft Girl Era as well. Explore how I feel when I interact with certain people, and really use that as a harness it as a power. So there's a part in my book where I talk about actually looking at how you feel and who you perceive yourself to be when you're around certain people. So for example, even if you look at it in terms of, do you feel like you're you're actually a female but you take on a masculine role when you're around a man who's actually a man? And also looking at that dynamics when you're with a female as well. When you're with one of your girlfriends, do you become kind of the masculine one in the situation, or do you become the feminine one in the situation? Because me, I'm a girly girl, and when I'm with my girls, I want to feel like I'm with my girls. I don't want to feel like I'm being kind of judged and controlled, and have to be on my P's and Q's and stuff like that. um and when I'm with guys, I also like to be in a feminine space as well. So therefore, when I harness that power, I can place myself around the right types of people with the right types of energy, they don't have misplaced energy. So again, what is it that makes me feel low when I'm around certain people? Because confidence is not necessarily about measuring your energy levels. Confidence is about your ability to believe in your abilities. So that made me kind of look into self-esteem. And I was like, raw, self-esteem is about levels. It's about looking at, I'm just looking at this person. LOL, what are you laughing for? Legendary Rex. What's funny? Tell me what's funny. Yeah, so self-esteem is about looking at the levels. So when you go around certain people, check your self-esteem levels when you're around that person. It's not your confidence levels, it's your esteem levels that are moving when you're around certain people. So, you know, some people would say things like, oh, you'd look better with short hair, for example. But I don't like short hair. And then what they'll do is chip away at your self-esteem, meaning you value, how much you value yourself. So they'll chip away at your self-value. How much do you value yourself with long hair, for example, or with short hair or whatever? So with that said, self-esteem is very different to self-confidence. And I just wanted to kind of, let's have a look actually what self-esteem, the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Hi, Stitch. Thank you. Right, so let me just type in here, difference between self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay, hold on. Right, so it says here that, oh, thank you. Self-esteem and self-confidence overlap, but they are different. Self-esteem refers to whether you appreciate and value yourself. Your self-esteem develops and changes as a result of your life experiences and interactions with other people. Self-confidence is your belief in yourself and your abilities. And I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, for example, growing up, I had full confidence in myself, my ability to sing and things like that. However, because my mom's such a critical person, she'd put, oh, you sound like you're singing up your nose, or oh, this, or oh, that. So it wasn't really about my confidence that needed the healing. It was about, hey, Hibbs, thank you. It was about her devaluing my perception of my self-esteem. Sorry, my daughter's just walked past. Yeah. So then that's what chipped away. So I started to I'm a confident singer. When I sing, I can sing. However, me valuing myself in that space, my self-esteem towards that was reduced by the fact that she was critical about how the space that I'm singing from. So I'm singing up my nose. It's not necessarily reducing my confidence, but it's reducing my self-esteem. You're 21, sweetheart. Nah. Thank you. I love these. These are one of my favorite earrings, actually. I wear them all the time. And it's so funny because, you know, when you're doing when you're on social media, because social media is such a weird place, you can be kind of again, you know, self-esteem. You can be like judged because you've got the same thing on all the time, and I love these earrings. Sometimes people are like, oh, I can't wear that because I've already posted a picture on it or already done a video with that on. So, but I like these earrings. These are like my favorite earrings. Thank you so much. So yeah, even in relationships, like our partners can have preferences about the way that they like you to look. So for example, me, I'm a dress up girl. I like to wear my heels. And that's how I've been from when I was younger. I would I like to wear, like we used to wear our pencil skirts, we'd always have our nails done, hair immaculate, everything immaculate from when we were young. However, we would never have the sporty look. And I remember when I'm growing up, guys would say to me, why do you always dress up? Why don't you just like put some trainers on sometimes and stuff like that? And then it's like, hold on, am I not good enough in this relationship now? Because you don't like the fact that I dress up all the time. And it's not necessarily dressing up all the time. It's a particular, it's a look, it's a style, it's a way. But you have to be careful, especially in relationships where people will try and bring you not only to their level, but lower than them because of their own insecurities. You know, especially when you're somebody who likes to do yourself, make yourself look good. I remember doing a course the other day and we're talking about vices. And for those who don't know, vices are like addictions, basically. And there was this lady, she's an older lady to me. And she kind of kept commenting on, like, if I said something, she'd kind of talk down about what I'm talking about. So I'm very quick when people are being rude. And I don't mind, you know, pulling them up on it because I don't like any form of bullying, especially passive bullying, because it's kind of like when you react, they're going to act like you're overreacting. So anyway, and I don't care about that. I will put you in your place. So anyway, we're talking about vices, and the lady says, you know, some people are addicted to dressing up and da 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 da. I think I had a nice jumpsuit and a tight jumpsuit, so my body looked good. And I says to her, I'm not being funny, but it's not an addiction to want to look good. You know, some people are addicted to, like, they literally can't go anywhere without their perception of looking good. But that's not the case for me. And then that just piped her down anyway. But what she was doing is chipping away at my self-esteem because of her own insecurities about herself. You know, she's overweight, so bad health and things like that. And then I'm coming in looking all healthy and stuff. And it's triggering her. And I wasn't judging her for not looking necessarily good, but some people just literally feel so irked by you and your esteem levels towards yourself that they want to chip away at it. And you have to be really conscious of that, especially when you're somebody who's trying to achieve and stay happy, because holding on to your happiness is kind of hard. It's almost like it's an ambition these days. So yeah, oh, when you're with your boyfriend, that's what I think when I'm with my boyfriend. Okay. Yeah. It's funny because relationships are a mirror, especially our relationships with our partners. They represent a side of us that we can either use that to grow or use it to attack ourselves. And a lot of the times people stay in relationships that are not good for them because we, again, are addicted to being attacked. And that's just something to look at. But then at the same time, you can use it to heal yourself. So for example, I think it was last night, my partner said something to me. It was last night actually. And it's something I've been working on. So it's quite interesting to judge my healing stage because it didn't trigger me as much as it used to trigger me. So it was good that I could use him as a mirror rather than a way of attacking myself, you know, and just remaining in a bad relationship. And I'm gonna see how my lack of response affects him. Yeah, and see if he decides that he's not going to do that no more because it makes him look stupid that I'm not bothered. But yeah, just be careful, you know, when we're in relationships, because relationships can be a healing space or a toxic space. And a lot of the times we can attack each other's insecurities a lot in the relationship rather than trigger the positives within each other in order to grow as individuals and grow as a collective, as a group. Hello. How do you put it? Anus. That's a nice name. Yeah. So again, what kind of things are you doing at the moment where you want to increase your self-esteem and make sure that, because at the end of the day, you have to interact with people whether we like it or not. We can't keep hiding in the shadows if it's a case of, with the kind of people who want to get somewhere in life. And yes, maintaining your happiness is important, but you also need to be able to maintain your happiness outside in the world. Because a lot of the times now, people are doing this whole protecting your peace. And yes, we should protect our peace, but we need to be able to protect our peace whilst we're amongst people who are not necessarily confident and comfortable within themselves. We should be able to work towards our progress, be in spaces where we can get opportunities, and also protect our peace within those spaces as well. So what kind of things are you working on at the moment where you want to be able to make sure that your esteem levels remain at the level where you need it to be to execute what it is you're doing, or be able to continue to see yourself as who you need to see yourself as in order to recognize certain opportunities. And like I said, it's interesting because that particular part in my book has come up for me now again, because personal development and spiritual development is a continuous journey. It's something that we're always working on and always going to work on. Some people are not bothered, they just go through their lives. But for people who are like me, who are continuously observing ourselves and making sure that we remain happy, especially people who have been through traumas as well, because we've been to that dark place, we don't want to go back there again. So therefore, it's a case of how can we put a contingency plan in place for us to not go that low again, And sometimes it can be a paranoia, sometimes it can be fear. However, to do that from a healthy place, these are the things that we need to be, and the ways that we need to be looking at. How can we put a contingency plan in place for us not to fall back into that traumatic space? Because a lot of the times when we're around people, they don't know what you've been through. They don't know what your triggers are. So in some cases, we can't always see it as an attack. Sometimes it's just a natural occurrence. And like I said, if we can look at these situations, opportunities to grow, then we will then be able to maintain our happiness again. So if you've got children, for example, how do you feel when you're around that child? Because I remember, like, my one of my children, I recognized that when myself and her father split up, it was almost like she used to say things to me that he would say. And I was like, rotted. It's like you don't realize how they learn certain behavior. She's just chipping up, like making me question, oh, you're being too extra. Oh, here she goes again. Just those subtle things. Whereas that particular child is not noticing that you're chipping away at mommy's confidence. You're chipping away at mommy's self-esteem. Oh, hey, honey. You're chipping away at mommy's self-esteem. But it's learnt behavior. So therefore, what I had to do is communicate to that child that that's not good to do that to people. And it doesn't make me feel in high spirits when you do that, and it will affect our relationship moving forward. And then teaching her how to communicate about when she does think that something, so that she knows the difference between when she's saying it as a joke, when she's actually being a bitch. Because you take that into school and be that mean girl. So yeah, um, self-esteem and self-confidence are they do overlap, but they're different. So confidence is having belief in your abilities, and your talents, and self-esteem is more about who you believe yourself, how you value yourself, and your self-worth, especially when you're around other people. It's quite interesting actually, because you've got people who, you can consider to be very confident within themselves and have high self-esteem, but then we underestimate how, when they're put in new situations, that then determines again and questions their self-esteem and who they believe themselves to be and their self-worth. It could be a job, they're confident at being at the normal staff level, but then once they get a promotion, they can then become quite shaky. Or when you're dating as well, you can be with somebody who was quite nasty towards you, but so then you decide, you know what, I need better for myself. So then you get someone new, and then this person's treating you even better. And then you're like, oh my gosh, your self esteem has to go up again now, because you're like, you got to question your self worth. You got to question yourself value. Do I deserve this? And then it's the question of whether you go back or you escalate yourself to that next level. Even when I was writing my books as well, I went from blogs, articles, to actually write a book. Imagine I wrote 3 books in 3 years, and I wrote Soft Girl Era, but it was almost like I didn't have the confidence to put it out until I wrote Unorthodox Masculinity. Um, and that's Conversations with a Goddess. And that came from a client that I had when I was living in Spain. And I was coaching him, and I was just getting so much insight. So I started writing down our conversations. I started journaling, and I turned it into a book. So I put that one out first, even though I'd wrote Soft Girl Era before. So once I put that one out, it was interesting, because then I had the confidence to put Soft Girl Era out, because my self-esteem in that space of writing a book with that client grew. I didn't not have confidence in my ability to write, but my esteem wasn't high enough in order for me to present myself as an author. It's just like, oh, that's not too much of a complex example, but I can see why my growth in that area. And I think it was because it was Soft Girl Era was so much about me, and Unorthodox Masculinity was more about the both of us. So it was about my client and me, and I seen how much it was clear, my value was clear in that dynamics. Whereas with the Soft Girl Era book, that was just kind of about me, and it just kind of felt egotistical being in a space where I feel like I'm all you need. If I'm honest, yeah, I felt like it was kind of egotistical, but it wasn't. I What I had to say was important, but I didn't have the self-esteem around that. So that's quite interesting. And also, I was talking to a friend today about how we I'm not sure about other communities, but how our parents kind of instill this constant check-in on our self-esteem as well. So, for example, I don't know if you can share the same, but like when you're going out your parents would say, make sure you look good before you go out. Make sure you look tidy. Make sure you look presentable. So then in this social media era, we're constantly checking, do I look good enough to be on the internet? Do I look good enough to present myself to people? It can, that kind of check-in, I'm not saying that you don't need to look good, because you do, but that continuous checking in all the time to see if you look presentable to others supersedes what you're actually going out for in some cases. So it's also kind of looking at how we've got these cultural and generational beliefs that need to be shed in order to maintain that aspect of our happiness as well. You know, I'm getting up in the morning and I'm like, oh yeah, let me do a video. Oh, but my hair don't look good. Oh, but I've got no makeup on. Oh, but my nails, because my nails need doing. But I don't not look presentable. And how good or not good I look does not supersede the message, you know, and what I have to say. So yeah, if anyone's got any, you know, you can feel free to comment and say anything. So let's look a bit deeper into this whole confidence thing. Confidence to smile, you know. Growing up, I was constantly, I constantly, I am that person. I like to smile. I like to be happy, you know, because I've been to dark places within myself. So I value smiling, and I have noticed that some people find that annoying, and you know, have asked me to tone it down. Like, how come you're so happy all the time? And it's shocking how these things that we can do and do to maintain our happiness and keep us in high vibration is attacked. You know, and this is why I always say to people, don't, it's not about whether you've got the confidence to smile or the confidence to be happy or the confidence to do that. It's about, do you have the self-esteem to maintain that, especially when you're around miserable cows who you know, need to do the same and can't for whatever reason, and therefore can't bear other people being in situations and, you know, being in happiness with themselves. I believe that smiling is a beautiful trait, and it's a way of staying happy, you know. And it's funny because smiling it's a power, and it helps you to maintain a positive outlook on life. And there's times when I say to my children, like, when they're feeling sad, I'm like, just smile, smile in the sadness, smile in the sadness to bring yourself out of it. And also remember that smiling doesn't mean that you are ignoring life's challenges. Like, this is what I'm saying, the extremes that these critical people can go to make you have to continuously check yourself. Smiling doesn't mean, and being happy doesn't mean that I ignore life's challenges. However, I will say this, that we all have critical voices in our heads and that exist around us. But it's about whether we are going to give them a voice or not, because That's the power, again, what we have. We have the power to not give those critical voices, those critical faces, a voice. Let them have their face, let them be there, but don't give them a voice in your story, in your life, and in your chapters. So I'm gonna end it there, and I'll probably see you tomorrow, probably at the same time. So if you want to join again, and we'll just see what comes up in my space in the morning for me to talk about. And if you want to kind of send me a message or email me, and if you want to, take a look at any of my books, I'm going to put the link from Amazon in the description. Okay, and thank you so much for watching and listening. You guys are awesome, and just keep smiling and continue to find different ways to remain happy and remain positive, so you can recognize, you can be yourself in order to recognize the opportunities that are coming to you to improve yourself, and what it is that you're trying to do for yourself. So bye.